Hi class, this video is a continuation of our discussion regarding the domain and range of rational function. But specifically, we are going to find or solve the range of a rational function. So again, the domain of a function is the set of all possible values that the variable x can take, and the range of a function is the set of all values that f of x can take. And take note lang po that f of x is equal to y. So now let's have our first example. So again, our our function is 2x minus 3 all over x squared. So for us to solve for the range, first thing we have to do is to transform our f of x into y. So, gamitin natin yung f of x is equal to y. So, you will have y is equal to 2x minus 3 all over x squared. Now, take note of this. What we're going to do next is to get the inverse function of y is equal to 2x minus 3 all over x squared. Inverse. So, kukunin natin yung inverse nun by interchanging the position of your x and your y. So, ibig sabihin lang, yung y mo, papalitan mo siya ng x, and then yung x mo, papalitan mo ng y. So, that is how we get the inverse of the original function. So, magiging x is equal to 2y minus 3 all over y squared. Ayan, nakuha na natin yung inverse ng ating original function. Now, next step na po natin gagawin is to solve for y. Solve for y natin siya in terms of x. So, simplify natin by multiplying our x with the denominator y squared. So, you will have x y squared equal to 2y minus 3. So, mapapansin mo na x y squared is equal to 2y minus 3, you can transform this one into a quadratic equation. Ano po bang quadratic equation form natin? Ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So, pwede natin ilipat itong 2y minus 3 natin sa kabilang equation para maging equal to 0 at masolve natin yung ating x. So, mangyayari, you will have xy squared minus 2y plus 3 is equal to 0. So, ayan na. Naka-quadratic na siya, no? Ang ating a is x, ang ating b ay negative 2, and ang ating c ay positive 3. So, ilista ko lang po. Yung ating a is x, ang ating b ay negative 2, and ang ating c ay positive 3. Now, we are going to solve for the range in terms of x para dito. So, what we're going to do is, para ma-solve natin to, ay gagamitan natin siya ng discriminant formula. So, if you can still recall, galing po ang discriminant formula doon sa ating quadratic formula. Yung b squared po, yung ating b squared minus 4ac. So, yan po yung nasa loob ng square root ng ating quadratic formula. So, gagamitin po natin yan. So, ibig sabihin, if we are going to solve using the discriminant formula, we are going to try to solve for this quadratic equation. So, anong magiging natin? Magiging solution natin, it's either you get the greater than or equal. Kasi if you can still recall in the discriminant, kapag po ang iyong discriminant is greater than 0, so meron kang 2 roots. 2 real roots. And then, ang discriminant mo naman ay equal to 0, you will have 1 real roots. And kapag ang yung discriminant ay less than 0, you will have 2 complex roots. So, ito ay real, ha? So, when you say complex roots, ito yung mga may imaginary. So, ito yung actually yung pinaka-restriction ng ating quadratic equation. So, bawal sa quadratic equation na magkaroon ng complex roots. So, titingnan natin Kung dalawa kasi yan, it's either you will represent your discriminant formula into greater than or equal, or kukunin mo yung real roots nila, kung saan yung graph mo ay tatama, or magiging mga set of solutions, or dun tayo sa less than. So, dahil kinukuha natin na restriction, pwede pong proceed tayo sa less than 0. So, b squared minus 4ac less than 0. So, ito po ay discriminant formula. So, yan. Meron na tayong discriminant formula. We are now going to substitute dun sa ating formula yung mga values ng ating A, B, and C. So, ang ating B is negative 2 squared minus 4 times A natin is X plus C. Anong C natin? That is positive 3 equal to 0. So, hindi na pala siya equal kasi ang ating discriminant will be less than 0. We're trying to solve the restriction, yung bawal. Yung two complex roots, yung hindi magiging part of the solution ng ating range. So, substitute na natin or solve na natin, simplify. So, 4 minus 4 times negative 4 times 3, you will have negative 12x less than 0. So, let's try to solve the range, solve the y in terms of x dito, or the range. So, lipat lang po natin yung negative 12x dun sa kabila. So, you will have 4 less than positive 12x. Then, solve for x. You will have 12. Dividing both side by 12, makakancel out dito. Matitira na lang is x. And 4 over 12 is, in lowest term, as 1 over 3. Therefore, you can say that the range of this function is y, such that y is an element of a real number where your y is not greater than 1/3. So, yung y mo daw ay yung mga values that are less than or equal to 1/3. Next po tayo, let's have yung ating function na x minus 2 over x plus 2. So, same process lang din po ang gagawin natin on this part. So, express natin yung f of x natin in equal to y. Y is equal to x minus 2 over x plus 2. Then, what will happen? We are going to get the inverse. So, pagpapalitin natin yung position ng ating x. So, magiging y na to. And yung ating mga y, magabalitan natin ng x. So, mangyayari, x is equal to y minus 2, y plus 2. Now, after getting the inverse of the function, you will solve for y. Solve for y natin. So, multiply natin ito dito. So, x times y plus 2 equal to y minus 2. Simplify natin by distributing yung x natin sa ating y plus 2. So, you will have continuation dito. So, you will have xy plus 2 equal to y minus 2. And we are trying to solve for the y. So, ito combine natin yung mga terms na may y and ilipat natin yung mga terms na walang y sa other side of our equation. So, you will have xy minus y equal to negative 2 minus 2x. Then, you can now factor out your y here sa left side. So, you will have y is equal y times x minus 1 equal to negative 2 minus 2x. Then, ito na yung over. Kasi kailangan mong alisin or i-isolate yung y mo sa one side of your equation. Kasi we're trying to solve for y. So, you will have x minus 1 dito para makancel. Then, dividing another side of your equation by x minus 1. So, you will have y is equal to negative 2 minus 2x all over x minus 1. So, ang mangyayari dito, based sa denominator ng ating y, ay ang ating x na po is x minus 1 or ang ating denominator x minus 1. So dito, for us to evaluate or hanapin natin yung restriction ng ating range, sabi daw, titingnan daw natin yung denominator or we are going to solve it or find the restriction in terms of x. So you will have, equate natin to into 0. So you will have x minus 1, dito na lang. So I will have space, x minus 1 is equal to 0. Then transform natin or transpose natin yung ating negative 1 to positive 1. So therefore, you can say that yung range mo daw dito is y, such that your y is the set of real numbers. However, where lang po your x should, your y rather, your y should not be equal to 1. Interval that is negative infinity, 1, union of 1, positive infinity. So now this is the range of our second example. Next po, punta tayo sa ating last example for finding the range. So if you have the function of f of x is equal to x squared minus 3x minus 4 all over x plus 1. So in this example, wag po muna tayo agad-agad na magkuha ng inverse or express agad siya sa f of x is equal to y. Kasi kung mapapansin mo lang, kung titingnan mo yung ating function, you can conclude that this function, these polynomial functions can be still simplified. Diba? Especially yung numerator natin, we can still factor out our numerator. So, pwede natin siyang i-factor out in a way na it will become x plus 1 times x minus 4 all over x plus 1. So, ginawa natin, factor. Then, from here, you can easily see that meron tayong common term. So, what you're going to do is cancel out yung ating common term. So, mangyayari, you will have x minus 4 na lang. So, after you factor, you cancel common terms. Then, may bago ka na ngayon. Your f of x now is equal to x minus 4. Then, sulat natin siya in terms of y. So, y is equal to x minus 4. Now, in this part, hindi mo na po kailangang kunin yung ating inverse, yung pagpalitin sila ng pwesto, then isolve mo yung y or isolve mo yung in terms of x. Kasi bakit po? Dahil naka-linear na siya at saka wala naman ng denominators and naka-linear term naman siya. So, pwede mo na agad isolve ang iyong y. Y is equal to x minus 4 or ang iyong range. So, paano to ma'am masosolve? Anong value ng y that would make or that would be the restriction of your graph in terms of range? So, for this one, you obviously need to get the value of your x. And if you can still recall, ang ating domain daw kanina na x plus 1 should not be, sabi doon, ang x mo daw dito should not be equal to negative 1. So, using our domain, di ba may direct relationship yan sila, input and output ang domain and range. So, we can now substitute or use this x equal to 1, negative 1 value to our y is equal to x minus 4. So, when we substitute this one, magiging y is equal to negative 1 minus 4. And negative 1 minus 4 is now equal to negative 5. So, therefore, ang magiging range po ng iyong third example, third function is y such that y is an element of a real number where y is not equal to negative 5. Or that is negative infinity, 5, negative 5, union of negative 5, positive infinity. Now, this is the range of our... In our next video, we are going to discuss on how to find the domain and range given a graph of a rational function.